Boom. We're live. Hey, cool. Let me go live in Facebook. I think.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did you get out of Facebook jail?
No, I'm totally in jail. But my guess is that I'm live as Jairus. I bet I'm live as Jai. Live as Jai. That sounds cool. He should have a show called that.
It does sound cool.
Yeah. I'm totally live as Jai right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Jairus. You can tell because how cool I sound that I'm live with Jai. All right, enough screwing around. Let me get I got to do the thing where I get
you got to dance, have the music.
Yeah, let me get this open. Let me open this up. And then we'll get the radio show started and make this for real. I wish I could open. I think when I open this file it just automatically starts playing, which would tell me that I should really just like open it ahead of time. Ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Okay. But you could hear it, right? It sounded good. All right, let me do this. I've been traveling so much and I don't haul this thing around, so I don't always get live on the radio. I got to remember how to work these things. Here we go. What is up, business nerds? Welcome to Bookkeeping, Beer, and BS right here on Turf's Up Radio. I'm Dan Plata, Home Service CFO, joined by Angela Schroeder from The Courageous Mind and Dave Kaminsky from Collaborate Pros. I kind of reckon this is just me going out on a limb. I have no confirmation of this, but I give it a 50-50 chance that we get a Rob Anderson sighting today. I feel like anytime we're like, hey, we're going to tell some business stories, Rob will pop in just kind of out of the blue and be like, hey, while you're talking about that, I got a story. So we'll see if we can maybe get a Rob Anderson sighting today. Telling marketing stories, I feel like it's going to be hard for Rob to resist. I'm kind of surprised. Chad's working on his cabin today. He said he's got a cabin day going on. I was kind of surprised he wasn't like, yeah, let me drop everything and razzle dazzle with some stories. Now he just keeps sending us pictures of all of his cool cabin.
He's sending us his picture stories.
That's right. 1,000 words. We just show those, have a moment of silence. Everybody can interpret. Well, Angela and Dave, thanks for jumping on. We're like smack dab in the middle of profit and loss storytelling sessions. I had no idea of how many episodes this would create. I was just like, oh, we'll just work our way through it's a bookkeeping show. It's a finance nerdy show, but that'd be super boring if we just like talked about it in bookkeeping terms. So what better way to talk about business stuff than telling stories? Because those are fun. And so we said, we're going to do storytelling the whole way through the profit and loss. Now I'm pretty sure we're 3 episodes in. This is episode 4 of doing this, and we've only gotten through the first two of 5 sections, and I guess 2 of 6 sections in the P&L. We hit sales stories for like an episode and a half. That's not surprising at all. And then we rolled into cost of goods sold stories, the labor ones, the fuel theft ones, the supply issue ones. And just last episode, we kind of turned the corner and started just sneaking in some marketing stuff. So I'm going to do a quick rehash like I've done the last few episodes. Actually, I'm going to do this first. I got to share since we're actually live on Facebook. So you guys do me a favor. If you're on Facebook right now, man, my Facebook is glitching. If you're on Facebook right now, do us a favor, share this to some other groups that you're in, share it to your page, get this in front of some other business owners. I am not Jairus Fernando. But Jai, thanks for letting me borrow your Facebook page. I promise I won't abuse it. Or maybe I will. I wonder. Yeah, okay. I can still share it to my page.
Funny. So I was on mute. You are still in Facebook jail?
I'm still in Facebook jail. Here, I shared it to our group. Oh yeah, now we're just live twice. I was trying to trick Facebook into thinking that because I shared it, it was me. I don't know why I thought that would work. That was a stupid idea. I get a lot of bad ideas, but that one was as bad as any of them. It didn't work. All right. So let me rehash kind of what we're doing here with these profit and loss stories. Because the P&L, episode 1, if you caught it, Chad was like falling asleep, snoring during the first episode as I was just diagnosing what's going on in the profit and loss. But here's the Cliff Notes version. You got your profit and loss, tells you how much money you brought in, how much money is left that you're going to get taxed on, and hopefully keep some. And it goes like this. First thing on that profit and loss is sales or revenue, interchangeable. Next thing is cost of goods sold. That's all of your direct cost to do the work that you set out to do. So in the service industry, it's usually labor is the biggest part of it, and the payroll taxes and the workers' comp. Depending on if you have company vehicles and all that stuff, you would include supplies, fuel for the vehicles, tools and equipment, damages and repairs. Oh yeah, we had some good damage and repair stories too. Well, at least I did. I break a lot of stuff. Once you get past cost of goods sold, that's what we call gross margin. If you hear the term gross margin or gross profit, kind of synonymous. When somebody says the word margin, it's really like talking about the percentage. The gross profit is talking about the dollars, but really it's the same kind of line item on the P&L. But that's how much money you have left as a business owner to go reinvest. And you could take that and invest anywhere, right? It doesn't need to be your company, but generally you're going to invest it in your company. And there's 4 different types of investments, and that's where we are on the P&L today. So the first investment you generally make is in marketing, client acquisition stuff. And we're going to be telling all of our marketing client acquisition stories here today. If we get through that, we'll move on. The next bucket of investments that you make is in administrative overhead. And that's like your people infrastructure. That's the people behind the scenes, answering the phone, doing the customer service, all that fun stuff. The third investment is fixed overhead. That's all your infrastructure, your proactive, like liability insurance, rent, utilities, software bills, stuff like that. And then the last one is variable overhead. That's your recruiting, repairs and maintenance, meals and entertainment, travel, stuff like that. It's all the discretionary stuff where you make a new decision every time. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what your profit and loss is. We've already told sales stories. We've told cost of goods sold stories. We're on to marketing stories. Angela, I have that echo happening again, and I think it's you.
Easy to blame.
Nobody knows why. Yep, that totally fixed it. Angela went on mute and it totally fixed it. I mean, nobody knows. So there's nothing we're going to do about it because nobody knows how to fix it. It's just the way. But so now here's the funny thing, Angela, when you come
it's weird. Do you hear the echo?
I hear the echo.
I do. Yeah. I'm not on your team. I'm on Dan's team. I heard the echo.
But then sometimes when you come off mute, it's gone. So it's like it's as if your microphone is trying to like find sound to pick up. And so like the longer you leave it, the more it's like, oh, I think I found some sound over there. Like it's finding it somewhere. Like maybe it wants to find some sound. I don't know. I'm just a nerdy bookkeeper. I don't know how any of this stuff works. I'm just glad that you guys can hear me and I can hear you. If we get a little bit of an echo, I'm cool with it. Maybe it's just
sometimes it works if I turn your volume down. Do you hear it now? An echo?
I don't know. I'm not talking right now. No, I don't hear it right now. So
I have to turn you down. Then it doesn't try and pick you up in the
That doesn't surprise me. I have been told I'm a little loud.
Too loud.
I gotta dial it back. Zig just commented here. Is Dan still in FB jail? Zig, I sure am. So I'm live on Facebook as Jairus right now. I'm hacking Jairus's Facebook and I'm live. They can't.
Well, you said hacking. You're on Facebook, so now you might be kicked off again already.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get Jairus kicked off of here too. I am borrowing.
There you go.
Per Jairus's setup. He's the one that set this up. I'm borrowing his Facebook so that you guys can all enjoy some live content. What's up, Zig? I was just thinking about Zig. Last year, probably around this time, we just did an episode of just telling hunting stories. That was about it. I think we did like 2.5 hours of just like, hey man, you want to go live? And like, we won't talk anything about business. We're just going to tell hunting stories. So that was kind of cool. Feel like we should do that again. Zig has a podcast too. Time's Up Outdoors. He's got like a hunting show and a podcast. And Marty went on there with her Venison 365-ish and we did an episode, but Zig doesn't know how to run audio equipment just like us. And so we got to re-record that episode. We got to do that.
I thought you were going to say just like me, but you had to include Angela, just like us.
No,
I'm including you too, Dave. You're not
True.
You're not fully exempt. Yes, it was all of us.
You're just going to sit here when it's not your own show though and laugh at it. And then when it is your own show, you're like, how does this work?
Dave, I don't know if you caught it when I was on with Angela, her commercials weren't working. But since I was on and we have access to the same commercials, she was just like, hey Dan, why don't you play the commercial?
He seamlessly, when he did it for my show, like everything was seamless. He's like, oh, here's a commercial. And he played a commercial for his own show too.
I did. I hijacked it and played my own commercial on her show.
Sweet.
Never saw that one coming. That was
That's awesome.
I did, but I noticed that like there were a couple times when Jai jumped on when we were live, and I was like, man, this is glorious. When you're hosting and you're trying to come up with like the order of the questions and who should go next, and then you're doing this, and then you're like, oh shit, and I have to like play a thing. I don't know how like radio people do it. They probably got all the technology, so it's like pre-scripted a lot. But man, I'm like sitting here just spinning in circles trying to click the right buttons, and most of the time failing.
You've been doing this for like 2 years, and it's not getting any better, right? It's just.
I mean, like, come on. I feel like it got a little bit better, just a little bit.
There you go.
Most of the time, I remember to play the play-in and play-out music, and so I feel like that's a pretty like. That wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
So we got to tell some marketing stories. And marketing could be ad spend stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we tried that worked well, and then a lot of stuff that we tried and didn't work well, and maybe some stuff that we're thinking about trying. Marketing is fun because it's kind of like research and development a little bit. Like there's always marketing stuff that you spend money on where you're like, I know this is going to work. And then there's the marketing stuff where you're like, how much do I need to spend to figure out if this is going to work? And hopefully that's like sometimes a couple $100 or a couple $1,000. And oftentimes you're like, okay, maybe it's like 10 or 20,000 bucks for me to figure out if this is actually going to work. And we've had a few of those. So I want to get into some of those stories of things where we like invested a shit ton and it worked, things where we invested a shit ton and it didn't work, or times where we like hardly had to invest at all. And we're like, oh my God, like, how do I put more money into this thing? So there's the ad spend piece of it. There's two other components that are like pretty common that we put into marketing from a nerdy bookkeeper perspective, which is the labor side of it. Are you using Dave at Collaborate? Are you using Michael at Click Call Sell? Is there any like story of some labor that either worked really well or didn't work very well for you? I could probably plug Collaborate when we talk about that, because that was like I stumbled across that and was like I thought Dave was just a window cleaner guy. So that'll be a good marketing story. Remind me to tell that one. The last one would be software stuff, which is like your Responsibid, your Sotellus for Google reviews, any other software that's like geared towards getting you more leads, Google reviews, what have you. Dave or Angela, wait, we got a comment before we turn it over. Zig commented, we need to get your wife back on. She got a lot of listens. A lot of people were interested on what to do with that venison that's 2 years old in the freezer. Wait,
it lasts that long?
If you vacuum seal it, it lasts. So this was a total thing that I didn't realize, because we eat tons of venison. I got a pound of burger thawing out in the fridge right now. But especially with like whole muscles, the longer you leave it in there, the better, because it like breaks down. It's like a fine wine. Like the freezing breaks the meat down more and more. So if you're really like trying to get a tender piece of meat, the longer it's been in the freezer, the better. Now you might have to like trim off some freezer burn, but the meat that's left is going to be way more tender, hold its moisture better, and like soak up whatever flavor, because the tissue's been more broken down, which I never realized. Now I don't feel bad. Now that's like red meat, right? Poultry, I don't know if poultry's that way. Fish, definitely not that way. Fish, you don't want getting soft and mushy. That's not a great texture for fish. So don't leave your fish in the freezer forever. Don't freeze it if you can avoid it. But yeah, that was a learning that I had. So my freezer's stocked. I'm like I got 3 freezers downstairs. I'm doing FIFO. If we're talking some bookkeeping talk, I'm doing some FIFO, which is first in, first out inventory management. You might remember that from some bookkeeping beer and BS trivia not too long ago. Actually, that probably was a while ago. It was probably like 3 months ago. But that was a trivia question we had about LIFO or FIFO. First in, first out is like whatever you put in first, which might have been like 2 years ago. If you put it in there, like the first thing that went in there is the first thing that's out, which versus last in, first out, which would be like the thing you put in yesterday, you take out today, and everything else that's old.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, because it's on top. Yeah,
Yes.
It just ends up, especially with chest freezers, it ends up oftentimes being last in, first out, and you're like, I wish I could get to the shit on the bottom, but I'm gonna find that in like 4 years and throw it away.
Way too much work. Yeah, I'll just stick with the top.
That's why it's nice having 3 smaller freezers, because then you can just use the freezers as rotators.
I do have 3 freezers.
As rotators.
Zig said, I just got my Responsibit set up. Now I'm starting down that Send Gym stuff, but damn, it gets expensive. It gets really expensive in February. We're shooting this one here on March 1st. And so like, this is the ultimate doldrums of cash flow. It's weird.
That's what you should do for Halloween. Be a cash fro.
Yeah, we should.
I got a cash fro.
Jairus chiming in on his own live feed says, "Hey yo, I see you out here. Let's go." What's up, Jai? Don't mind me. I'm just trying not to get you kicked off of Facebook too, Jai. But back to Zig's comment, it gets so damn expensive, and it does, because with marketing, a lot of times the return doesn't come right away. Some of the bigger marketing investments that we make takes a longer time for the return to come. And so from a cash flow perspective, like we're bleeding. And the worst part is like Zig's up in Michigan, right? Like latitude wise, I think it's lateral. Yep. So latitude wise, he and I are both like equally far north. And man, like you're getting marketing stuff going right now or recruiting stuff going right now, and there ain't no money coming in. So it's especially exacerbated this time of year where it's like I'm trying to sign up for things and do things, but I'm also as far dwindled in my bank account as possibly could be because I just went through 3-4 months of really not having work coming in. So Zig, I feel you, man. Let's talk about some investments. Dave and Angela, you guys got anything that comes into mind from like a marketing investment you made that the minute I said it, you're like, oh, I got
Angela had a big smile, so she can go first.
I can go first.
Angela always has a big smile. I never know, because like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Angela's got something, but I'm just like, or I think she's just that happy.
Smiling.
Yeah.
I'm just very smiling.
Yeah. You got any stories over there, Angela?
Do I have a story? I would say my best marketing dollars recently, or story-wise, or the most fun, are the marketing investing in like in-person events and making connections and the people you meet, and then the bigger connections that those lead to. So I can make a joke about that and say the best marketing dollars you guys spent last year was coming to the mastermind and meeting me.
Wait, was that the best marketing we spent for your sake?
Yes.
The best marketing is when somebody else spends it. Actually, there's probably a lot.
Amen to that. Yep.
There's probably a lot to that.
But yes, that was a marketing investment for both of you to come to the mastermind. And the mastermind itself was a marketing investment for us in elevating brands and doing things. But it led to meeting the two of you, which has led to a lot more things like, exponential explosions and connections and
trying to learn how to use audio equipment and make a radio show.
Yeah. And travel around the country.
That's right.
Hang out with Dave.
That's cool.
I'm still picking on Zig here. Zig is watching twice. I'm pretty sure he's on YouTube and Facebook, just like giving us some extra love, because before he was commenting through YouTube. Now he's commenting through Facebook. I don't know. He's everywhere. But he had noted another thing, which I wasn't thinking about. So he's also building out a new truck. So in addition to like getting the marketing stuff going when you're planning on hiring new employees, and this is one of the things that comes with a marketing investment, is it's like, that's not it, right? A marketing investment is great, but if you don't also spend the money to get employees and also spend the monies to get the asset to be able to go do the work, a whole bunch of clients ain't going to do you a whole lot of good, right? It's just going to be a bunch of phone calls you got to answer. He said, now I don't know if this was a Freudian slip here, but he said the season needs to start or my life is going to leave me. So I don't know if Zig actually thinks he's going to run himself so dry that it kills him, or I'm thinking maybe he was talking about his wife. I'm thinking maybe he was talking about his wife, but she's a military gal, and so maybe he was just foreshadowing that instead of his wife leaving him, it's going to be like that the band Perry song where she just kills him. She's going to kill him. That's what's going to happen. I think that's.
I don't know that song.
There's a song that they're a country band. They song it's a female singer. She sang about putting him in the ground if he ever left. Zig thought it was funny, so somebody thought my crappy joke was funny. He did mean wife, but like I said, I think it was a Freudian slip of like, even if she ain't gonna leave him, she's gonna kill him, is what I think it was. I think that's what he's saying. Zig, am I right? Do we need to be concerned for your livelihood?
His wife's going to throw him in a trunk.
I don't think she needs to throw. She's got weapons. She's got weapons.
Well, that's after she kills him, then throw him in a trunk.
I think Zig was teaching her how to shoot a crossbow last I heard. So I don't know. I don't want to get morbid or anything, but Zig, you better start making some money, son. That's what I'm saying.
Let's all go help. Let's all send them some jobs somehow, some way.
Angela, did you so these I didn't even think about that for bookkeeping, but that like struck me as like, yeah, that is big on marketing. Did I kind of cut you off because I got excited about Zig's comment and then my joke in there. Did you have anything else on the live event side of it?
No, I mean, just that, yeah, going to live events, making an investment in networking and meeting people that, those connections have exponential ripple effects. I could have never, planned. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, this is a marketing thing that has so much intention behind it or the plan or that you could see the picture that you were trying to create.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it does tend to be.
Picture.
It does tend to be the relationships that we have that drive the majority of the value. And whether it's a lawn care business or a VA business or a marketing business or a bookkeeping business, it usually is the relationships that drive the business forward. It made me think, though, I like for bookkeeping, I'm going to conventions and trade shows and like very intentionally building those relationships, but I'm doing it as a vendor and as a speaker and as a coach and all that stuff. The people that are there as attendees of the conference, it's not marketing. It's still an investment to them. It's not a marketing. It's a variable investment. We'll get to that at the bottom of the P&L. But it did make me think, like, we have a window cleaning and pressure washing business here in Minneapolis. We don't do a lot of trade shows. There's actually a Minnesota home and garden show happening right now in the Twin Cities. There was a guy I was supposed to have a bookkeeping demo with today, and I texted him. I was like, "Yo, man, you jumping on? Here's the link in case you lost it." He's like, "Oh shoot, like I'm at a convention." I was like, "What convention?" Because I saw your area code is the same as mine. Like, what convention am I missing? I'm there. And he's like, "Oh, it's the Minnesota home and garden show." I was like, "Never mind, I'm not there." But it made me think like maybe our window cleaning and pressure washing business should be there. But I don't know on that side of it. Are you just there more for transactions, like the relationships? Yeah. On that end, there's still really valuable relationships.
We did a home show one time for window cleaning. It's terrible.
Yeah. but if there was somebody there that had the Arizona Cardinals stadium and they were the maintenance person, right? Or, something like that. There's probably like commercial relationships where residential is not as relationship driven. It's more transactional.
So, yeah, for commercial, it would be BOMA. Like we do BOMA events all the time, and we get lots of commercial work from building owners and maintenance operators.
Yep.
BOMA is a fantastic group.
Yeah. Let me
happen, like you said, in the relationships. I mean, sometimes, like you said, for bookkeeping, you're going and that's an intentional marketing effort that that you're marketing to the people that are there and you want them to be your clients. In like this case, and you guys coming to the mastermind, me meeting you, me being on the show, and then like different ripple effects that I didn't think would happen. Now I get to go speak in Vegas at Clip at a Holiday Lights show, and just like different things that you wouldn't have ever, wasn't the marketing picture you were trying to create, but opens doors and collaborations and all kinds of new things.
Let's do this. I got a bunch of marketing stories rattling around in my brain. Let's take a break, hit these commercials, come back. I got some marketing lessons learned for sure. And we'll get into some more story time right here on Bookkeeping Beer and BS on Turf's Up Radio. Don't go nowhere.
It's great for areas with high precipitation, which means no mud after a heavy rain and no more mowing wet grass. Today's artificial turf is made using recycled materials and helps to reduce water consumption in areas of drought. Turf Envy's artificial turf is constructed of quality raw materials, safe for pets, humans, and our environment. With decades of experience, our staff can help with support, training, and product education to give you confidence when estimating a project for a potential customer. Learn more at turfnvusa.com today.
You're listening to Turf's Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey everybody, Wayne Voles, the Prophet, your host of Profit Time here on Turf's Up Radio. If you listen to my show, you know I'm all about profit. As an industry, profit is something we fail to meet most of the time. If you're working hard but not seeing the results that you deserve, Profits Unlimited is here to help. We offer processes and systems designed specifically to make your company more successful, more profitable, and certainly more efficient. When you're ready to take your company to the next level, reach out to me at profitsareus.com. That's profitsareus.com. And don't forget to turn into Profit Time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
What is up, business nerds? We're back with some more bookkeeping, beer, and BS on Turf's Up Radio. I'm Dan Plata, Home Service CFO. We got Dave Kaminsky from Collaborate Pros and Angela Schroeder from Courageous Mind in the house. We're telling profit and loss stories. I'm live on Facebook right now as Jairus because they got me in Facebook jail. This is an eventful day. Trying not to get him kicked off of Facebook too. Apologies in advance, Jai, if I say anything real stupid. We're talking marketing stories here, and I saw Jason Hefner chimed in on the live feed. He says, "There's no shame in my yard sign game." I think were you trying to rhyme that, Jason? I bet he was trying.
When I first started really growing my business up in Flagstaff, man, I put yard signs everywhere. I got tons of calls. They were awesome.
Yeah.
So the police come take them down and they get mad at you, and some people get pissed. But I was talking to Wesley from Wise Guys. I was talking to him about a week ago. He's like, "Oh, I don't care," because I just keep putting them up. He's like, because he was chatting with me in the back of his car. I could see all the signs bouncing around and stuff. He's like, "I have no shame in that." He's like, and they'll call and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'll go pick them up." He goes, and then I never go pick them up. And they never say anything. So,
yep. Yeah. If they mean it, they'll call back or send you another note.
And if Wesley's doing it, it probably works, right?
No shit. I feel like clip flyers kind of falls into that. Clip flyers don't work everywhere, but they work in a lot of places. James Mansky's jumping in. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, James Mansky? How the hell you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good, man. We're just telling stories. We're just telling some marketing stories. We're talking about yard signs right now.
So we're talking about you, but now that you're here, we'll keep.
Yeah, we'll switch it to yard signs.
I can feel it. My ears are burning. That's why.
We were indirectly. We talked about the mastermind.
Oh yeah,
we did talk about the mastermind. Yeah. This is a realization I've had, and it's not a good one, but I think it's common as people scale, which is when we were smaller, we did a lot of more boots on the ground, guerrilla style, use our labor for marketing, yard signs, flyers, stuff like that. As we grew, we got more dependent on just buying the marketing. So we started shifting more into radio, and we do some TV, and we pay for a lot of digital. And we've totally slacked on the physical marketing, the yard signs and the flyers and the whatever. And to our detriment. I think we've spent a lot of money, and that one of my marketing stories is just that in a couple different places. We've had some big dead weight marketing spends. We had one radio station where I think it was basically $30,000 to get going right up front. And this was my mistake. I didn't realize there was already a window cleaning pressure washing company on there. And one thing about marketing that I found is trying to take somebody else's turf in that space, especially where people on that radio station already know them and have the trust built with them. It was the worst. I think we got 4 clients, and it was $30,000. It was astronomically bad. I lit $30,000 on fire. It might not have been 30. It might have been like 20, and I pulled the plug really quick. I mean, we were like 2 months in, and the guy we were working with, the media buyer, was like, you got to give it 3 months. And I was like, no, like I fucked up. Like I shouldn't have given this 3 days. This was a bad decision, and I need to say no right now. Like the longer I wait to say no, the worse this is going to get. So we're done. We have had radio stations work really well for us. We were on a talk radio station in Minneapolis for a long time, probably a decade now. And it's that radio station where like the people that listen to it just have it on all the time. Like it's on in their car, it's on in their house. It's just constant. And I listened to it one time and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe anybody listens to this. It's like talk radio, and literally it's either advertisements or it's show hosts promoting things. Like it might as well be an infomercial on the radio. And they tell a couple stories and they talk about the weather, and then they roll right into the next commercial break. And it's literally like they're just selling stuff the entire time. I don't know how they do it. But we were on there, and we had, if you were with the right host, right, the talent was super important on the radio. If the host is really good and they have a following, which on talk radio is like the big thing, then it sells a lot of stuff. But if you don't have the host that has the following, then the client base isn't listening to it, even if the radio station's a good station. So we learned that lesson when hosts changed and we had to switch hosts because like the guy we had moved, and then the gal we had a medical issue come up. And so as hosts moved, the success we had changed. And I think this is going to sound terrible. But I say a lot of things that sound terrible. So let's go. Everybody that listens to that radio is like getting up there in age, right? It's a lot of the boomers, and some of them, the older ones, are not around anymore. And so I think their audience is literally dying. And so the listener base is dying. And because we've been on it for a decade, they know who the hell Blue Skies is. And if they were going to sign up for window cleaning from us, they would have done it 5 or 6 years ago. And so we have a lot of repeat clients from them. A bunch of our client base is from that station. But now when we look at our acquisition costs for new clients, every year it's gotten worse by like $100 per client. This last year was like $800 a client, which is like our average job size is $450. It does drive a lot of Google clicks. People hear on the radio, they forget where they heard you, they go there. But like this radio station is not attracting new clients or new listeners. It's not that type of radio station. It has a really loyal listener base that's aging, and they're not attracting new listeners. So we're pulling the plug on that one. That was like 40 grand last year. And it wasn't as bad as the 30 grand that I lit on fire, but it was a terrible acquisition cost. We did try sponsoring. So it was like an extended story because this was some more money we lit on fire. R&D. It's R&D. We're testing, right? But on some of this media stuff, you got to spend $25,000 to $50,000 to find out if it works. And we've spent some of that and hit gold before. These are the ones where we didn't hit gold. We tried a podcast that's a national podcast, but like very locally followed in Minnesota. Again, it goes back to the show host. Like the hosts are really well followed, but like the main host wouldn't read our ad. They had one of the other guys do it. And then they wouldn't let us come and clean their windows for them or pressure wash. And so how the hell are you going to sell our thing if you don't even know what the thing is? So he'd read the ad, but it was just like, you could just tell he was reading an ad. He wasn't saying like, oh my God, Kahuna Window Cleaning is our brand here. He wouldn't be like, oh, I had Kahuna Window Cleaning come out and they were so great. And it went like this. And I'd love that about it. He's just like, call Kahuna Window Cleaning because they could come and clean your windows if you have windows on your house. It was just like, come on, man. Like nobody's going to sign up for that shit. So anyway, that was another like 40 grand, and we just kind of had to bail on it. We tried it for like a year and a half, and I think it could have worked, but I don't like, maybe just doesn't. Some of those things take a while to start working and like people to get familiar with you. But it was like, if that's how it's going to sound, and it just sounds like the dude's about to fall asleep when he's talking about it, it doesn't matter. Like you have to discount it 50% to get somebody to even like hear the darn ad. So a couple, I mean, that's about $100,000 there that didn't go so hot. But again, we've also spent money in tens of thousands where all of a sudden it was like, holy shit, we landed on something here. Those were just the ones that didn't go so well from a media standpoint. I got one that did, but I've been talking for a while. You guys got any follow-ups to that?
Well, I mean, I did Google Ads when it very first came out. Like,
I thought you invented Google Ads, Dave.
Yeah, right. If I invented it, I'd actually use it. I don't use them anymore. But I could place $100 a day, and oh my god, dude, I was cleaning up. I was getting like 20 or 30 customers a day for $100. I'm like, this is amazing. And then everybody else figured it out like a year or two later, and then I was spending $100, and I'm like, I ain't getting nobody. Like, what's going on? What's happening? And Google didn't care. They kept taking my money, man. So that it was really, really good for like the first year.
Yeah. I like Google ads because I know what I'm going to get for it generally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's predictable. It's better than $800 a client on a radio station. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Amen to that. Yep.
Less R&D.
Yeah. You got to talk about Michael Gregory here. If you're going to do Google ads, you got to pay somebody who actually understands it and measures it and tracks your conversions. You can't just throw money out there. I'm working for a client in Florida right now. They're spending $90,000 a month in Google ads.
That's possible?
Yeah. Well, they're a national company, and they're like, they really don't know where the money's going. And I'm like, oh.
I didn't know there were that many clicks to buy.
They're just throwing spaghetti.
I mean, they compete with like Home Depot and Lowe's and Bed Bath & Beyond. So it's a large national company. So
That's
I mean, dude, if you're not measuring that and figuring out where your money's going, oh man, you're gonna lose your ass fast, right?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I thought like there were months when we were spending like 10 grand, and I was like, holy shit, like that's a lot of ads on Google. But
it doesn't matter, dude. 10 grand, 90 grand, it's all money. Like, geez Louise.
It is, but when the months where we spent 10 grand on Google, now a lot of it was local service ads. And so I tend to, that's like the best real estate on Google you can get. If you're getting those local service ads and you're getting those clicks, I'll buy those all day. They convert super well. They're super cost effective. They're not in every market and they're not for every service, but man, if I could just do like one marketing thing and you said you have $10,000 to spend and you got to spend it on one thing, that's right.
Well, I'll give you a little secret tip there too. Michael Gregory and I we were on a Zoom together one day and we were looking at local services ads, and I had my budget set at like $900,000 a day, and so did he. And I was like, I thought I was the only one that knew that trick. He's like, oh no, I know it too. So if you're running local service ads, you literally set your budget at like $900,000 a day.
Yeah, unlimited.
Or a week. I'm not sure what it does, or maybe a month. Maybe it's monthly. $900,000 a month, and people freak out. Like, oh my god, I can't spend. But they're never going to give you that much. But they're going to keep you in that number 1 or 2 spot all the time.
Yep, you're going to get all the clicks. You're going to get them all.
Yeah.
That's kind of our game plan. Is I want to own Google, because no matter where somebody hears about us or finds us, whether it's a yard sign or a TV station or whatever, they still all end up at Google, and we're going to pay for their damn click regardless. And I can usually tell whenever we're running more like media stuff, we get way more Google leads and our conversion rate's way better. It's like, oh, I wonder why that is. Like they all just end up going there and clicking on the first time they see our name. But if that's what it takes, I want them clients. I don't want them clicking on somebody else's. James, you got a few clients down there in Omaha. What's your bread and butter on the marketing side? You got any good stories for us?
Yeah, I think in like 2019, 2020, we paid a national company to help with social media ads, and their monthly was like $2,000 a month plus ad spend. And they're like, oh, if you just spend more, you just spend more. And like this month was $3,000 in ad spend plus our $2,000. Next month they're like, well, if you just boost it a little bit more or do it for this warm audience, and like the next month was $7,000 and then $9,000. I'm like, okay, it was kind of the same as you after $40,000 in 5 months. I'm like, we're only dealing with people that are seeking discounts. We're not finding good clients.
Yep.
So we kibosh that right away. So everybody, the way to get their attention is 20% off if you sign up now, or unless you're in the pools, hard skates, you're trying to really shock and awe them with some pictures. But if you're just doing like service industry, it's really tough to get your money back on lower ticket items.
That's a good point too, because a lot of people, I mean, it's hard to capture discounts in your like acquisition cost, but if your sale is dependent, or if the lead is dependent on a promotion and a discount, like that's part of your marketing spend. And yeah, if it's 20% and your average job size is 1,000, like that's another $200 a client you just spend. So if you thought your acquisition cost was $200, but you're also giving a $200 discount, your acquisition cost is really $400. It starts to rack up pretty fast if you're dependent on the discount. Let me hit one more commercial break here, and we'll we'll wrap her up with a little more storytelling on bookkeeping, beer, and BS.
We got to talk about technology, right?
I mean, we might be talking about marketing stories for 3 more episodes, Dave. I don't know. We're going to talk about marketing stories until we're done with marketing stories. There's no end in sight. No end in sight. We'll see when we get back. If you got a technology story, cue it up. Dave, coming right up with a technology story. Oh, we got to probably talk about Collaborate Pros, is what Dave was saying.
It's not Collaborate Pros. It's something else.
Oh, all right. Looking forward to it. We'll be right back with more bookkeeping, beer, and BS on Turfs Up Radio.
Creating art from darkness. Over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Cress is leading the transition from gas-powered lawn equipment for professional operations with the introduction of the industry's first truly game-changing innovation in battery-powered OPE. With the Cress 8-minute cyber system, professional landscapers can now replace their messy gas-powered equipment without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. The 8-minute cyber system allows for Cress-made 60-volt batteries to fully charge in 8 minutes or less, just enough time for a water break. Complemented by a full line of equipment benchmarked against gas-powered products, landscapers can finally take charge of their business and make the switch to battery. For more information, visit Cress.com. Visit Cress.com.
All right, nerds. We're back. We're telling marketing stories here on Bookkeeping, Beer, and BS. Marketing's big. There's a lot. I just haven't even scratched the surface, and we only got like 20 minutes left here. So we'll, I'm sure we'll be back next week with some more. But Dave was talking about technology, the technology side of marketing, and we've hit a little bit on the ad spend side. I guess I kind of hit on the ones that didn't work out so well. Dave, on the technology front, I feel like you're in that game. If anybody knows the technology front of marketing, I'm sure you got some stories. What do you got?
Yeah, a little bit. So I've acquired a couple businesses, but one business I acquired was Jeremiah Green's business, South Mountain Window Cleaning, a few years ago. A lot of people know Jeremiah.
I do know Jeremiah. I didn't realize you acquired his business.
Yeah. And when we bought it, I decided to send out a text message to all the previous customers. I'm like, because nobody answers their email really anymore. You sure don't want to call them all. And you don't want to wait for them to call you, right? Mm-hmm. So we set up there's 2 text programs I like. One is called Text Line and the other is Textedly. But Text Line is awesome. It's got a dashboard and it's every conversation. So we literally plugged in all these phone numbers, and there were a couple thousand. So I put them in chunks and I sent out one text message, and oh my God, did our phones blow up. Like my office was like, don't ever do that again. We're scheduled for like 4 months out. And I'm like, we're going to hit it again. So I finished the list and they're like, don't ever send all those texts. We don't want that much business. I'm like, wrong. Yeah. We want that much business. So,
how are we recruiting? Why aren't we hiring more people? We got a lot of business. Don't you guys know that?
Yeah. And we've done that with recruiting too. We've sent messages to our customers like, hey, we're hiring. If you know a window cleaner that can work with us, you're going to get a free job out of it. So it works with recruiting too. It's awesome.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I get a Collaborate live text a couple times a week. I feel like get a lot of texts from Dave. I was gonna unsubscribe because I was like, yeah, I know these guys, but then I was like, I don't want to unsubscribe because then I feel like I'd be mean. I want
we have a Angela and we're gonna hang out in Nashville next week, and we have a really cool thing we're gonna reveal in the next week or two. I'm not gonna say it now, but you shouldn't unsubscribe because you're gonna miss out on it.
I'm not gonna unsubscribe. I just thought about it and I was like,
don't miss out on the announcement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be watching for it. I'm gonna hold you to it. On the technology front, one is one's kind of a technology, but it's also like a little bit of labor. But and I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass, Dave, but I think like the best marketing technology that I've run across is Collaborate Pros, because and there's obviously a labor element to it too, but like we've tried SEO tens of different ways. I wanted to say a bigger number, but that would be totally exaggerating. But we've probably tried double digit in all of our businesses SEO things, right? And there was only one where it was just like, yeah, that seems like very affordable, actually makes sense to me, and isn't just some like bullshit of like, yeah.
And you get a dashboard to see the results, right?
Yeah. And so like just being able to understand. I mean, I am a bookkeeper. Yes, I'm a business person, but like I'm a finance nerd. And so if Michael Gregory started to talk to me about how the Google algorithms work, or like when Corey Hillary comes on here and he starts talking about how all the insurance stuff works, I'm just like, boring, like, and I'm sitting here talking about finance stuff. But like Dave, when you talk about Collaborate, and I remember the first time I saw you talk about it, like I knew you and I knew you were starting this company, and we were in Vegas at the Experience, a carpet cleaning restoration conference. And I was like, oh yeah, Dave's talking. I'm gonna go just like check out what he's got. And I sat in there, I was like, how the hell did I not know that this was
time out? You were like one of 3 people in there, right?
It was it was like nobody knew what you were up to. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, holy shit, like Dave is on something here. Like, this is, why wouldn't you be crazy not to do this? And like, so we did it on all of our companies, and holy shit, the organic traffic that we got compared to what we were doing at any other point in any of our businesses was ridiculously different. This is way better. And we could actually tell what the hell, like you said,
and it didn't cost you $30,000, right?
No shit. So I think from a technology standpoint, like hands down, that's the best thing we've ever done was signed up for Collaborate. Which reminds me, I do need to pick your brain, Dave, on doing Facebook ads for bookkeeping, like for our admin company. We talked a little bit about it. I meant to remind you. Because I didn't mean to remind you. I meant to remind myself. But now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, shit, I got to talk to Dave about.
I told my integrator to reach out to you. He never did.
Travis? T-Bone?
Nope. Shirag?
No, I don't. He may have. We just switched all of our email systems and over. I literally had like a guy that had sent me some stuff for bookkeeping pricing like a month ago. And I was like, I wonder why I haven't heard from this guy. And I like went in, searched, and I was like, shit, he totally sent me what I had asked for before I even asked for it. And then I like replied in a different email system. I hate system changes. Yeah, technology wise, Collaborate. I had the other one I was thinking of. I don't know if these guys still exist or not, but I love the model. Dave, I think I maybe even brought this up to you at one point in time. We hired some guys that had a brand or a business called Go Lead Guys. Mm-hmm. And basically what they would do is they would work with an influencer, social media influencer, and they would pay that influencer to go promote your company and then bring you leads back. So they would be in like different community groups and Facebooks or Nextdoors or wherever. And anytime a conversation struck up on whatever services you offered, they would be in there referring you. And every time they got a lead, it was like, hey, yeah, just use this link. And it was like their private link. And so when they would refer you, it would drive back and they would get the phone number to call your business. And so you're basically like hiring Go Lead Guys to go find these influencers and build the business model with the influencers to then go out and influence, recommend you, and get leads.
Influence marketing is huge. And
it's huge.
It works extremely well sometimes.
I mean,
it does work extremely well.
We used it for home cleaning. And for home cleaning, because like the average revenue per client in home cleaning is a few grand, and because home cleaning is so personal, I can't think of another service, like maybe a massage, because they're actually touching you. But other than that, like a home cleaner is touching all of your shit, right? Like it's so personal. I don't know of another service that's so personal like that. And so a referral means everything. When somebody says, I use these guys and here's why I use them. Now, I don't know how honest these influencers are about like their real relationship. I'm sure they're not like, I get paid to refer these guys, right? They're probably saying, yeah, love this company to work with. But man, we were paying, it was ridiculously cheap. It was like a couple $100 a month. And there were months where we're in home cleaning where we're getting like 15 to 30 leads. And we convert about a third of them. So we'd end up, there were some months we were getting like 10 new clients, recurring weekly, bi-weekly home cleaning clients for like a few $100. They eventually were like, we need to charge more. And I'm like, yeah, I would pay probably like $2,000 for all these leads. Like within my acquisition cost, if I paid $2,000 and I got 10 clients out of it, I'd be super happy. That'd be like a big win in home cleaning. Well, then they bumped it up to like $4,000 and said like, they're only going to take one business in every market. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why wouldn't you refer an HVAC company and a home cleaning company? Why is it just one singular business in any market? I feel like you're going to exhaust yourselves very quickly. But anyways, I don't know where they're at with it today. We used them for probably not even quite a year in that whole process. But man, when we were using them and they had that business model that they probably weren't making a whole lot of money with, but I was, it was the best. I'm
going to try out Clean Marketing. Those guys do Facebook ads.
I saw them down in PWMCA. I think they were down there.
Yeah. I think he was there. I wasn't there. You were there, but I was on the phone with them earlier today. I'm going to try it in one of my locations that we really want to push a lot of marketing to that market. And I feel like Facebook's good for brand awareness too. So, if you want to get your brand out there, Facebook's fantastic, right? So, especially in those community groups and all that stuff, right?
I'm curious how that'll work for you, because I know like Ashley Bissing at One Love Social, she does a ton of people in like holiday lighting and landscape lighting, and she just crushes it in social media stuff. But I know she doesn't love to do pressure washing or window cleaning because it doesn't sell nearly as well on Facebook. So it'd be cool to see how Clean Marketing does if they've got something figured out from how they
be the guinea pig and see if it works.
Yeah, check demographic wise or whatever.
Well, my office called me. They said, "Do we want to spend?" And I think it was $10,000 in newspaper ads, and I'm like, "No." Like,
what's a newspaper?
I know, we're gonna go with grandmas and grandpas, and who cares about those guys?
No, we're gonna split it. We're gonna split it 50-50. We're gonna go $5,000 in the yellow pages, and then $5,000 in newspaper ads.
That's how you light money on fire, right? So I was like, let me try this Facebook marketing. I'll put some money into there, and we're not doing anything in a newspaper. Who cares about that, man? So,
James, you got anything, any systems or anything that have worked extraordinarily well or extraordinarily terrible for you guys?
I mean, branding is always number one. So what's your logo look like? What do your trucks look like? What do your people look like? Your networking is probably number two, or it could be a close first. I mean, we get more from networking, and this business owner talks to this business owner. Who are you using? We get more of that without any kind of advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about networking, like business groups, like Chamber of Commerce, that type of networking, or what kind of?
I'd say between client networking and introductions, and also just everywhere we go, we need to be a walking billboard about what we're doing. So that's what networking for me. I mean, I pass out more cards in a year probably than most people, and just here's my number. Well, now I just text their number, text their email to myself. But networking that way of just sharing with people who you are, what you do, it's free, right? And people see your trucks all the time, and there's brand awareness. So as far as like Google ads, we haven't done anything on Google ads or social media ads or any kind of advertised spend. Our advertised spend is more like branding, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because now, we turn away business. So
is there a point, because you guys are pretty sizable, and so that billboard of yours gets really big because you guys are in a lot of places all at once. Was there a tipping point that you remember where you're like, holy shit, branding just got way more important all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think it's more of just to inform now. So now people that follow or people in our mailing or email list, it's more of informing them what else we do or what's coming up next month or what to look for this month. So it's informational and it's also sales. So our newsletters probably get more in 1 month than we used to get in like a 2-year period before we started using them.
Yeah.
Because now they're just clicking, oh, I'm interested in that. I'm interested in this. I'm interested in that. We didn't have to do anything. It's just explain what needs to be done to a property or try to teach the customer something.
Yep. Yeah. Education, I feel like, is a great marketing tool, which, I mean, shit, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
When you help level somebody up and educate them, you build so much trust that they realize like, oh, you're not actually trying to sell me something. There's so many times where literally the person I hire is the person that tried to sell me the least. That's my deciding factor. Like if you had to try to sell me, you probably don't actually believe in what you've got. If you never tried to sell me on it, that's how I know that you're like, that you don't, you're just like, yep, I'm good. I got
Well
this.
said. Yep, well said.
Yeah. And that's something too. It's just filling the need, right? What do they truly need that we're trying to help them with? And if you look at it that way, then selling is not hard at all. That's part of marketing and advertising.
How do you help?
You can tattoo your logo onto you, and that's a form of advertising, right?
Well, speaking of tattoos, Angela's apparently got a new tattoo. What's going on here, Jai? That was when we were on that commercial break. I was like, "What's going on? What's up?"
So my kids randomly on Sunday, I only have two tattoos, and both of them are matching ones with my kids. It took them 2 years to convince me to get the first one, and then randomly on Sunday, they're like, "Mom, let's get matching tattoos. Let's get the word courage." So,
oh, that's a good one.
So we all got the word courage.
There you go.
And different, mine's cursive, theirs are in print, but yes, I just got another tattoo.
Nobody knows how to read cursive anymore.
Put courageous, change it to courageous mind. Like you just put your logo on that's a form of advertising, right?
Is that tramp stamp that you got, Dave? You got that collaborate tramp stamp, Rocky?
It's hard
funny?
to say no to the, I mean, I'm not necessarily like all into getting tattoos, but when your kids want to get matching tattoos, I feel like
it's hard to say no to that.
My kids this morning, it was a little chilly here, and my daughter's like, "Hey, I want a collaborate sweatshirt to wear to school." And I'm like, "All right, I got a couple extra." Like all three of my kids wore collaborate sweatshirts to school today. They also have professional window cleaning sweatshirts, and they're always like, they're so proud of it. And I'm like,
they're repping the brand.
Cool.
Do you send them with a foam finger to school too?
I should. Yeah.
Only if they're number one.
Yeah.
You got to get that.
Our team, their kids' school did win state in basketball like last week, so I guess they are number one. So
you can supply all the players with foam fingers.
Yeah.
Branding. It's that branding James was talking about.
Yeah.
There's one thing I mentioned earlier. I went through the big spends where it was like, oh shit. One thing that we did, that similar roll of the dice, but we got on a local TV show, Twin Cities Live it's called, and it's like a midday news show, but it's not just them reading the news. It's like local stories and stuff like that. And so they feature you, but it doesn't feel like an advertisement. It's like a 3 to 5 minute story, and they run it like it's a story on your business. And so like the first time we did it, it was like every month, but it starts to feel like an ad. And usually there's an offer with it. Like, hey, if you're interested in having them do this stuff, but it's like education. So one of them was like teaching people why they should get their roof cleaned, and you get those black streaks and nobody really knows what it is. And it's like more and more and more prevalent, and it damages your shingles, but people don't know that. They just think their shingles are wearing down. So just teaching people that thing. And so we make a video of it, and we got people out cleaning roofs. One of them, we did like window cleaning with a mop and a squeegee. And the show host actually like was out there, and we were training 2 new employees. So they ran a story of us training new employees. And then they had the anchor out getting trained on cleaning windows. So it makes it like a more interactive, fun story, but it's really a 5-minute ad. It's pre-recorded, but it feels like it's a live segment, and they're out in the field, teaching somebody how to clean windows. So that was kind of cool. And that was $30,000. except the acquisition cost on it was like $100 per client. People loved it. And that's not even counting the people that saw it and then later on went and signed up through Google. So again, it's like now that's a staple in our marketing system, but we had to go burn 70,000 other dollars to find that one that worked really well. So we do a lot of that. We always have about $50,000 in our marketing budget where we're like, we're going to light this on fire and we'll see if we can find something new and fun. And sometimes it burns and sometimes it converts. And then once you get that thing that converts, and marketing's always changing, right? So you're always like replacing something that no longer works and trying to find the next thing that works. Rob, I thought, so I was wrong. Well, I wasn't that wrong. I said I gave Rob a 50-50 shot of jumping on. He didn't jump on, but he says, I'm a no tattoo kind of guy. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you're not getting any tattoos, Rob? Or does that mean you just don't like are you judging?
Yeah, are you judging me, Rob?
Yeah. He said he does the live show thing too. Somebody said, Dan, so I need to get up with David is what you're saying. I don't know who that user was. Who was that? Who was chiming in? Was that Dave Jensen. Yeah, Dave, you totally need to check out Collaborate. Dave and he was down at PWMCA. We were the ass hats running around the hotel in the morning trying to act like we were exercising.
You know what's funny? I think right now my Collaborate website's down. So this is a perfect time to talk about Collaborate. My website's down. But while we were here, I was chatting with Bluehost, and I believe it's back up. So
there you go. What Zig said, I've been eyeballing Warplane Studio stuff that Latimer pushed at the huge convention. So I know we got to jump off here. We're hitting time, but one of the things that we haven't started running ads on it yet because I'm waiting for I'm not an early adopter, but like YouTube ads. I think you can target really well with them. Bookkeeping, beer and BS, we're already making a shitload of content, so it'd be crazy not to start running some YouTube
I just want to scream, hell yeah, YouTube ads. Sorry I'm interrupting, but I totally want to get on YouTube ads. I agree with you.
Let's
I
do
haven't
it.
figured it out yet, but I'm going to work on it.
If I was at BBB next week, you and I could work on getting YouTube ads.
Yeah, we do a hacking session. We do YouTube ads.
Instead, I'm going to be convicting somebody on jury duty. They're already guilty as far as I'm concerned. Guilty until proven innocent, right? That's what you say if you want to get out of doing jury duty, probably.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on jury duty in January, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I got out of it.
How'd you get out of it? Who'd you offend?
Well, I filled out the questionnaire, and the people were both my customers. And I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I know them both. They're both my customers."
Oh yeah, perfect.
There was one business suing another, and I knew them both. So.
Oh yeah, I hope I know them. I hope I know them all. I don't know. I got to find a way to get out of it. What's making me feel guilty, though, is my wife was like, oh, my God, if I was like there and I was the one on trial, like I would want you on my jury because like you're a reasonable human and you'd be the person I'd want. And I'm like, don't say that. Then you're going to make me feel bad about trying to get out of being on jury duty. Like I don't want to be on there. But if I feel guilty that I owe it to them because I'm a good person, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Right now, I think I don't want to be on jury duty is what I think about it.
You know what I said to my wife? I was like, oh, I am so excited to do jury duty. I want to pay, goodness to the community. I want to serve the community. I want to give back to others. And she's like, you're so full of shit. I'm like, I'm totally serious. Because if like she read 1 ounce of me wanting to get out of it, she'd be like, you're a loser. You don't want to contribute to society. Like I was like, no, I totally want to go.
It sounds like she had her mind made up before you said anything. Whether you wanted to be there or not, you were going to be the asshole.
Yeah, she knows I'm a loser.
All right, guys, business nerds, thank you guys for tuning in. Dave, Angela, James, thank you guys for jumping on. I mean, if Michael jumps on next week and maybe Rob jumps on, I feel like we probably got a whole nother freaking episode of marketing stories. We could be here for weeks. Oh, I've been working on a whole bunch of new trivia questions. Whole bunch. So once we get done with this P&L stuff, this super fun P&L stuff, we'll get into some trivia episodes. Tonight, you guys, I got a hell of an episode tonight. I got Debbie Sardone, who's like the queen of the maid service industry, coming on the late night happy hour show tonight. We're going to be talking about a lot of marketing stuff, actually. And she's got some chops. She has been around and she's evolving, and she's got the biggest coaching program in the maid service industry. She's a beast. And she's going to be drinking shitty light beer with me tonight on Bookkeeping Beer and BS. So tune into that, 8 p.m. Central. I'm going to be live as Sean Day on that one since Facebook has kicked me off, but I'll be live. That's it. Good night, good day, good afternoon, whatever the hell time it is.
See you guys.
Music done. Work harder and smarter. Go earn yourself some pride. Peace.